Welcome everybody to Two OGs, Hooking and Stitching Island Style. I'm Antoinette, your host. And today we have a special guest, Lindsay Lewchuk of Knit Eco Chic. Lindsay?
Hi, Antoinette.
And
hi, knitters. It's so nice to meet you.
And her sidekick, and actually her boss, Puddles. He might not be in camera, but you'll try and see if he can get him in camera. Mr. Puddles. Him sleeping.
He's still sleeping.
He's
handsome. He might wake up later.
Yeah, he's so handsome. Maybe he'll join us later on and during the interview. I'm just going to turn this over to Lindsay, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself. And then I have a list of questions from some of the subscribers, and I have some questions to ask Lindsay. But to start off, Lindsay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here, and thank you for interviewing me. Knit Eco Chic has been publishing patterns since November 2011, so this is our 10-year anniversary, and very excited about that. Puddles came on board about 4 months after we started publishing, so he has been a mainstay for the designs ever since the beginning. And we published just over 100 patterns. I'd say 99% are indie self-published. I've done a couple of third parties, but I prefer the self-publishing route. And I cover designs with eco yarns, organic cotton, linen, bamboo, other cellulose fibers, and silk, and yarns from socially responsible companies. And I transform them into patterns for shawls and cowls and sweaters and some hats, but shawls, cowls, and sweaters is my little box. And this year, we part of our 10 years celebration, we published our first imprint book. So very excited about that. It's called Take the Plunge, and it is a collection of patterns in Malabrigo's Verano, all featuring drop stitches.
You want to tell us where they can get this at, Lindsay? Where they can buy the book at?
It's available on Amazon and internationally, Amazon.ca and AU and Japan, Italy, England. I think that's it.
Yep, I got mine on.
France.
Yeah, I got mine on Amazon.ca, and it is stunning. The designs are stunning. The photography. I mean, these are the designs she has in there. There is plunge, submerge, dive, and then you got the plunge and shorty. She's got some how-tos and some additional surprises at the end of the book. I'm not going to show you because this is paid for, but go get yourself a copy of it, and it's awesome. The patterns. Yes, I have some already earmarked to do. Sorry for interrupting you.
That's fine. I'm so glad you're enjoying the book.
Oh, Lindsay knows I'm a fangirl of Lindsay's. I have been, I guess it's almost 3 years. I found Lindsay by applying to test for her back. If you look behind Lindsay for the Airbender, which is of all her patterns is my favorite. I have recently started it again. I had done one as a test pattern, but it was too shy, intimidated to do the drop stitches or beads because she gives you many options in her patterns. I gifted it to somebody who was in need of a prayer shawl. So I'm started a new one, and this one I'm doing beads, and I'm going to do the drop stitches. But that is how I came across Lindsay. I love her patterns, her work, her inspiration, which we're going to get into her design process, and some of the other things going on. Lindsay, you said it's been 10 years. And Puddles has been a big part of that. Has it been 10 years you've been knitting, or did you start knitting prior to that?
I started knitting prior to that. I learned when I was a really young girl from my dad's mom. She was Russian, so we called her Baba, and had peach acrylic yarn and plastic needles and didn't know a thing about tensioning, and ended up snapping the plastic needles because I had pulled the acrylic yarn so tight at the end of my stitches. So that was my first sort of introduction to it, and it didn't take. So a couple years or decade went by, and found myself in the hospital, and they were limited on the materials I could use because I have EI and couldn't have anything that was cause an allergic reaction. So I just had a ball of organic cotton yarn and some knitting needles, and I just knit through it, ripped it out, knit through it, ripped it out over and over and over again through those days and weeks there, and learned how to knit.
So there's no formal training. There's no YouTube. There's
Books. Yeah, well, YouTube, I don't even know if, yeah, I hadn't found YouTube back then. I had one of those learn to knit picture books.
Yep.
But I didn't get to look at it very often because one of the things I can't have is books.
Because of the chemicals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the glues and the inks. So yeah.
Well,
the formaldehyde of the paper.
Well, with a lot of chemicals. So anything with chemicals, you have to stay away from.
Pretty much.
That makes it a little bit different.
But I've been blessed to find Echo yarns, and there are several brands that I know I can use after washing, and I've got needles that I can use without reacting to. So it's all good.
We're going to get into your needles and your yarn. During that time, so you said you started designing about 10 years ago, and where can you find your patterns?
I sell my patterns on my website, which is knitechochic.com. And I also have them on Ravelry and Lovecrafts and PayHip.
Okay, and all this information will be in the description box below so that you can get go get Lindsay's patterns because they're awesome. I'm just telling you, they are awesome patterns, and I will be showing you the airbender one in a little bit. I'm just going to show you the picture of it. Her parent patterns are very detailed, very charted, and written instructions. Now, you're mentioning needles. What kind of needles can you use?
I use bamboo needles, clover mostly, and because of a certain Great Dane who's my companion, who's snoring away. I hope the mic isn't picking it up because it's getting loud.
Oh, that's all right.
I've given up straight needles, and I am an exclusive circular needle knitter because he likes to lay on my lap and didn't like the tink of the long needles. So now it's all circular knitting, and I've learned to knit backwards so I don't have to turn my work on him if it's not in the round.
Well, you know,
So
he's the boss.
The things we do for our babies.
Exactly. Well, you know, pardon me. You said Puddles has been on board pretty much the whole time. Within 4 months, you're going into it. So he's been a lot of your, I mean, he's your constant companion. So he's kind of like, he's pretty involved in it. Cause I know when I've been involved with you, Puddles kind of runs things. He runs things. Cause I mean, all of the decisions and stuff have to be run by him. Has to get his paw of approval.
Indeed. Yeah.
Now,
he has very good taste, so why not listen to him?
he has you for a mom. Thank
you.
Of the eco yarns that you use, which one is your favorite, and your yarn weight, and of the fibers you're able to use, which one is your favorite to work with?
Oh, that's like asking a favorite child question. I love the yarns for the different characteristics that they bring. So
Okay.
I wouldn't say I have a singular favorite. Organic, if I had to be, desert island, you can only take one yarn, it would be organic cotton and bamboo, because I love the sheen of the bamboo, and I love the feel and the softness of the organic cotton. So
Nice.
I've got a sneak peek here. This is my upcycle from Terran, which is the current MCAL that we're doing. And so this will be coming out later this month. And this is a cowl, and it's organic cotton and bamboo.
Sneak peek,
And
sneak peek, folks, sneak peek.
so it's so soft. I was like, you just want to, oh,
Squishy.
all the time.
I've only worked with bamboo once, and I found it was a bamboo cotton blend, and I'll tell you, it was very, very soft, and like you said, it had a very nice sheen to it, and I really did like the feel of it in my hands. Very, very soft.
Mhm.
Like, that's probably not as nice as the one you use. I'm sure it's not as nice as the one you use, but it was a bamboo cotton blend. Now,
And then,
your suppliers,
Mhm.
you said, okay, the ones that you use are responsible as far as their environmental policies and stuff like that. Who are some of the suppliers you use?
well, this one that I just showed, which is our current mystery knit along, or the shawl that I can't show is the current mystery knit along. That's Unique Sheep. And if you have scent allergies, I will give a disclaimer. They use essential oils as mouth protection. So I have to order mine specially without that. But they do a percentage giveaway, and Doctors Without Borders and a couple other charities that they support. And then I love Malabrigo, and it's not organic, but it is Pima, which is traditionally grown without pesticides. And they are socially responsible in their manufacturing. They do solar, and they have certifications that I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's all on their about pages. One of the things I love is when you find a new yarn company, head over to their about page, and if they do socially responsible or environmentally friendly aspects, you'll typically be posted there on their about page.
Okay, and like in their corporate mission statement.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. And I think more and more companies are moving towards eco-friendly and socially responsible in their production and in the way they process their yarns. I mean, acrylic's going to be around, although the acrylic of today is a lot different than the acrylic our grandmothers used. I do know that it is a plastic. Yes, it is, but they're recycling it now. A lot more yarns they're recycling. It's become a big thing with some of the big box, big brands. They're recycling the acrylic, the wool, cotton. I don't know the process. I have not read up on it, to be honest with you. I'm going to say that I cannot say how they do it, how the process is. I can tell you from a 30-year career in trucking, recycling was one of the biggest parts of the industry. It became a whole business, recycling everything. So society's moved towards that recycling. So into our fiber world, they're bringing that in here too, recycling what we have. So that's a good thing then. So check out your yarn especially if you have like Lindsay, who has to be very careful what she uses. If you have any sensitivities, any allergies, check out the yarn companies. Malabrigo, I've heard a lot of people talk about Malabrigo. I've seen the yarn. It is gorgeous. I've never had any. Maybe have to try one of these days, get myself some Malabrigo. I'll put that on my wish list. Okay.
And another one, like this is a new yarn coming out from Five Wise Owls, and she's an indie yarn dyer on Etsy. And this is 100% organic cotton, and it's two different types of cotton that are woven together so that you get a heathered look in cotton. And so I was really excited to see that coming up. So and with the indie dyers, you just send them an email and ask what products they use in their dyeing, and especially if you have allergies. I have a lovely dyer in England, and she just uses water. She does linen yarn, and she'll just use water for me because I'm allergic to the soap that she normally uses. So
okay, that's got it. That is.
Don't be afraid to ask.
No, absolutely not. So because you are limited in the type of yarns that you can use, you have to get creative. with how you do your design. So when you get your yarn, do you get the yarn for the design, or do you get the yarn and then let it inspire you for the design?
It's mixed actually. I think as I've grown over the 10 years, early on, it was definitely, I'd let the yarn speak to me, but I've been doing more formal yarn support requests where I have a design and a sketch and this is what I want to make. Do you want to partner with me in creating this design? So when I get the yarn, I'll stick to that general sketch. I'll let the dyer, if it's an indie dyer or a yarn company, if I'm moving away from the sketch. And then with my leftovers, I kind of let free expression take hold, like with the leftovers from the mystery knit along. I just let the yarn speak to me and what it wanted to become. And I was like, the yarn color was so outside my box. So I was like, I don't know what you want to become. And it was like, mix all the colors together. I was like, okay, I've never done that before.
It was.
If you look at my catalog, it's rather monochromatic.
Yeah, it's
so this is definitely, yeah.
For your book here for the Take the Plunge, you had support from Malabrigo, didn't you? So the yarn used in these designs from Malabrigo.
It was part of their Malabrigo freelance project.
Okay.
And awesome. I read a bit about that in the beginning and the end of the book.
Okay, awesome. So get the book, and I'm telling you, you'll love it. You'll love the book. And your design process, give it to us from inspiration through. Give us your design process.
The Lord gives me a vision, and I can't quit until I figure out how to turn that vision from an idea in my head into a fabric knitting. I don't crochet, so I knitted fabric, and I frog a lot, and it's very experimental and seeing things out in nature that he's created, and then seeing how to translate that into a knitted item. In the book, I've got a photo of me and Puddles in front of a huge vine, and it was a twisted vine, and one of the twists had fallen out. And to me, that looked like a cable and drop stitch. So that was the inspiration behind Plunge.
That's got to be, it's a talent, it's a gift. It's got to be a gift, because I mean, I look and see things, but I don't see a design that way. I mean, that's totally got to be a gift. How long's the average process for you to get the inspiration for the design, go through the process to release, after testing, editing to final release?
Yeah, it's years. Some inspiration sits there for a long time, and most average it'll be about 9 months to a year and a half. I've had some longer, and I've had a very few that are shorter, but I would say 9 months to a year and a half would be my average, if I was being very generous with myself, and because I don't write down when I get the initial idea. So.
Oh, you don't?
They just stay in the little gray cells, and I mold them. And
now, see, I have to write everything down, or I forget. It just goes out there.
Well, if I forget, it wasn't meant to be.
When you get that final product, it's got to be a great feeling. I mean, it's got to be a great feeling when you finally see that final, when you put that last stitch, bind off, blocked, see it. It's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the beginning the best. I think getting it from vision to stitches.
Okay.
The final is fun, but my joy, I think, is at the beginning. And my other joy is seeing others use the pattern to make their own, and seeing how they bring their own spin, their colors, and if they add any of the modifications in and stuff like that. I love that part too.
Your testers?
Yes, my testers and the people who purchase.
Okay, awesome. Speaking of your
And sometimes I've been to the frog pond quite a number of times, so I have admitted to not liking some of my designs just because they've been such difficult little designs. So then when I do the photo shoot and being out in God's creation and the sun on my face and getting the photos in a beautiful setting with my parents are my camera people, so camera mom or camera dad, that helps bring back some of the love of the design again.
I'm sure.
Especially if Puddles can join us.
Well, I think with anything, before we started the interview, Lindsay and I, before we started recording, I'm working on the airbender, and I'm just like 11 or 12 rows into it with beads. I was asking Lindsay, and she made a comment to me, you're supposed to enjoy it, not be frustrated. And I am enjoying it, and I won't let it frustrate, but I frogged and I frogged and I frogged and I frogged, but that's the only way I'm going to learn. One thing that's great about Lindsay is if you have a question, you can email Lindsay for pattern support. And she does give you pattern support in that way. They can email you, or on her website, she's got some tutorials, and she does have a YouTube channel. This will all be in the bottom, down in the description box. And, you know, to enjoy the process of doing her patterns, because like I said, it really is a process. Lindsay, of all the patterns you've done, everybody knows we did this interview a couple weeks ago, and I forgot to press record. So that was like our dress rehearsal for today. Lindsay, your favorite pattern. You know I was going to ask you the favorite pattern of all the patterns you've done. What's your favorite pattern?
Oh gosh. You and these favorite questions. I think solar flare circular shawl, which was the first mystery in the Element series, of which Airbender is part. I think that's got to be my favorite. It was outside my color range, so that was a big jump for me. Had a lot of fun with my parents with the photo shoot. My dad constructed a Nanagon frame, and I took fishing wire and put it through the frame, and then he held it over his head while he was standing in my Mini in order for me to shoot the sun in the sky without any trees, which in the mountains was a challenge. So and the stitches were twisted stitches and little cables and beads and lace, and it's a non-pie shawl. So there's all these fun things that I just love about that pattern, from the memories of creating it to the actual stitches in it. So
I have actually, let me see. What I'm going to do is I actually have your up here, and I want to get solar flare up here if I can find it.
It'll come in the slider. Yeah.
There's Puddles, and she's wearing Airbender.
Yeah. Oh, I wish that wouldn't keep happening. I have to figure out why.
There's solar flare.
Yeah, there it is. I am not a computer techie person.
This is solar.
I mean, I do websites.
No, let's go back.
No.
This is solar flare right here, and it's gorgeous. I started reading over the pattern, and yeah, it's a gorgeous shawl. What we were on is I was on Knit Eco Chic, Knit Eco Chic, EcoChicDesign.com, and all her patterns are on there. And she's, like I said, she's got a lot of some brioche. You know, I'm learning how to do brioche. But I'll tell you, Lindsay, give them a preview. But I looked at that pattern. Okay,
so this is the mystery right now, so I can't show the top because they're not there yet, but
isn't that gorgeous?
Part of what they have already done.
Isn't that gorgeous? Her designs are so, I don't know how, the only word I can think of is, I must say organic, but they're they're eclectic. They're a mix of stitches, techniques. I mean, you take different techniques and the stitches, and you put them together in such a way that it makes a very unique design, but they're beautiful. And they represent what you are saying, like the airbender. I keep referring to airbender because it's such a beautiful design. Seriously. If you look at it and you read the pattern, the way she describes it, it's got butterflies, dragonflies, wind chimes, drop the stitches, beads. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how did she come up with this concept? You know, mixing the cables and dropping the stitches. It's quite a gift that she has, that she does drop. I mean, that she just bang, here comes the pattern. I know it takes years, but once it comes together, it's quite an accomplishment, the pattern she has designed. And she does have some that are a lot, you know, I think you have some beginner friendly patterns also.
I do. Yeah. I have a couple of beginners and then some that are a little bit more advanced beginner, and then some that are intermediate and some that are advanced. But if you have an adventurous spirit and some patience, you know, you might not be able to do airbender while watching your favorite movie.
No.
But you know, you can do something like Arctic climbs while watching your favorite movie, because it's just cables.
Yep.
Over and over and over. So
yeah, and it's nice. Yeah, no, airbender is not, you can't watch your favorite movie. Guaranteed. You have another one, butterfly silk. I have that pattern here. Do you have that with you?
I do. I had to raid my mom's closet to find it because this was her Mother's Day present.
This one here is very, very beautiful. I love the butterfly aesthetics in it. And she did hers in a cotton silk or a linen silk.
No, this one was in silk. I was in silk from Malabrigo, and it starts there, and it's worked on the bias all the way to the end.
I have the pattern, and yes, it's on my bucket list for 2022. But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous.
And it's so soft.
Well, I mean,
if you could just feel this.
I imagine silk. I mean, I have some yarn.
But it was Mother's Day. It had to be special.
Well, yes, it does. I have actually some yarn, silk yarn that somebody sent me in a giveaway that I won. That is from Turkey. So I may have to use it for that there. It looks like a rose garden. The color's like a rose garden. So that might be good for that one. Okay.
Yeah, and the stripe here is optional. You can do a solid color.
I like that stripe.
But
I think that makes it.
Yeah.
I think that makes it. You were talking about, do you have any new designs coming up in 2022? I know you have your series, the Element series, but what about 2022? What's your possible for theme for 2022?
I have a new theme coming out for 2022, and the first one is being released in December. So, but it's with the yarn company, so I can't show you. But then later on in the year, I'm debating whether I do a photo shoot and then block it and then do another photo shoot just in case. So there's that.
Oh, is that?
And then later on in the spring, it'll be this one. And this one doesn't show great on the camera, but there is a little color work in here. Sorry, it's not showing up. It shows up beautifully in person, but it's not one that this camera is doing well. So, and then I am working on a series as I'm building, one of the parts of me that's non-knitting is a nonprofit called Habitat for Canaries, and we are moving to Maine to start a habitat for people with EI. So we're building our first building that I'll live in while we build out the community. And with that, I'm also designing a sweater because it's Maine and winter and cold. So So it's, this is the beginning of that. And this is 100% organic cotton.
Ooh. I see many sweaters in your future.
I think so. Yeah.
Because you normally knit with usually fingering weight yarn. You do a lot with fingering weight. And moving to Maine, you'll probably be using a lot more worsted weight, number 4.
I probably will, because I knit for the weather. So here in North Carolina, you know, this is organic cotton, the same yarn I just showed. And 1 or 2 sweaters of this weight has been fine for the amount of cold we get here. But up in Maine, I might be swapping it out, and you'll be saying that designer who used to use fingering weight and now is only using worsted organic cotton.
Well, yeah, but you'll be able to come up with, and they have beautiful summers and springs up there too. And here's the great thing. Lindsay's only going to be maybe 4 or 5 hours, not even that from me. So I'm hoping sometime in the future, when things get back to normal, that her and I can meet up, and I'm looking forward to it. So looking forward to it. And I'm hoping one day maybe to get her up here to the island in here where it's just so peaceful and quiet up here. I lived in Maine, so it's a beautiful state. The other thing,
I've not seen it.
No, you haven't seen it at all?
Well, I haven't seen our property. I've been to Maine years ago, but I haven't seen our property. So when I move there, will be the first time, and I can't wait.
Well, here's something I just found out in our dress rehearsal we had. Lindsay is Canadian born. I did not know that. She's Canadian born. So she was born in
Toronto.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're a dual citizen, correct?
No, I'm a Canadian.
Oh, you're Canadian. Okay.
Resident alien here.
Okay. And you're well, you'll be close back, but you're a country girl. You're not a city girl.
Well, I have learned to be a country girl, and that's one of God's blessings, giving me joy in the areas I never anticipated to experience joy. But his creation is so beautiful, and I love hiking and cross country skiing. And
that's what I was just going to ask you.
Praising him while we do it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was just going to ask you. One of your favorite pastimes is getting out into nature and hiking and taking Puddles, and you guys going on long walks, and you love to cross country ski.
Yeah.
Yeah, you love to do things like that, and all your pictures are always taken in nature, because your photography, and you can tell your mom and dad their photography is beautiful. You know.
Yes, they've come a long way. When I've got rolls of pictures growing up where there's no heads I was taking. So she has come a long way from the head off to the photos that she takes now.
They beautiful
really
work.
Impressed with, I think.
Beautiful work. I did have one of the questions that came up was if you had any other crafts or hobbies. Do you do any other crafts? Now you said you don't crochet.
No.
Do you do any?
I can chain stitch, but I
well,
like the 2 needles. Yeah.
if you can chain, you can. Are you open to learning?
I did learn. I like 2 needles. It's better with me. So
And everybody has their niche.
yeah. And I enjoy playing Scrabble with my mom, and we shoot pool. But most of my hobbies, I think, are outdoor. I've been rock climbing and zip lining a couple of times, and love the adventurousness of those. Designed a cowl after I went zip lining because it was so much fun.
Oh, I love zip lining. That's fun.
And
I'm trying to picture Puddles zip lining. I don't see.
Oh yeah, he did not go. I love kayaking, but again, most of the things I enjoy are in the winter. So cross country skiing and hiking through snow and taking my camera out at the first frost and capturing the frozen buds and stuff like that. So much fun.
you're going to a good place that you're going to enjoy, because it's 6 months of winter. It stays cold and it stays snowy. I know this weekend we're getting ready to turn our clocks back. That's the one hard part I do, because I love the daylight and the sunshine, and I like to be out and enjoying it. Is this weekend we set our clocks back an hour, which messes with things. I do know that Puddles lunchtime is coming up soon. I do remember that. Lindsay, I so appreciate you taking your time out and coming back a second time, because I so absentmindedly, I was so nervous and so excited at the same time to do the interview with you. Lindsay's one of my favorite designers. I have followed her. I follow her on Instagram, and like I said, I have her YouTube channel, but as a designer, I've been following her for almost 3 years. And I have, like I said, I've done her designs. I've tested for her. All the information is going to be at the bottom of the description box if you want to apply to be able to be a future tester for Lindsay. And I'll have that information. And again, follow her on Instagram. And I'm sure she'll come back in the future and give us an update on how everything's going. Lindsay, is there anything you would like to say before?
If you sign up for the newsletter, you can choose whether you want updates on test release calls or new patterns or our blog, so that Puddles won't flood your inbox unless you want them to.
And she doesn't. She does not send out a lot of. She doesn't spam you. I get pattern releases, and she doesn't flood my email because I'm on her newsletter, and again, I also go to Yarnpond, which we've talked about being a pattern tester. I go to Yarnpond. But if you're on her list, she will email you and invite you to become a pattern tester. And there's one possibly I'm going to be testing. I've been studying up on a technique that I'm not familiar with, but I'm learning. Lindsay challenges me, and I like it. I enjoy it because she teaches. I'm learning new techniques, and she's going to follow my journey on my airbender this time to see how I do with my beading and my drop stitching. I did the Admiral Milady gloves for her, which I didn't do the drop stitch, so I'll have to redo those with the drop stitch on the butterflies. We'll redo those ones too with the butterflies. Lindsay, I so thank you and appreciate you. She is a true blessing. She really is. Her faith is very important to her. She finds solace in her faith. This past year has been good for her because she got to participate in church because it was online, which makes things difficult for her.
I was so excited.
With the EI, it makes life challenging for her. I can't imagine, but again, the trials that we get, we always find ways, there's reasons behind everything. So
that's true. So thank you so much for having me. It was so wonderful to see you and to chat.
I always enjoy our time together. I so enjoy it. And my Mr. Puddles, he's sleeping. Maybe next time we'll get to meet Puddles. He's getting to be an old man, and he likes to sleep.
He's set in his ways.
Very set in his ways, but he is he's handsome, and if you maybe we'll get a picture of him. There's handsome. There's Dad handsome. Puddles. Hey, handsome. You look
there he goes. Finally.
There he is. I'm back to sleep. Yeah, and he is
awake for fun.
It's all right. He is Lindsay's constant companion, and I have followed them on Facebook and their adventures, and you always see Puddles in the pictures with Lindsay. So Lindsay, you have a wonderful, blessed day, my dear, and I will be in contact with you soon to let you know when this is going to release.
Okay. God bless Antoinette, and thank you, knitters, for watching and I hope you find some patterns that you enjoy and challenge you. And I love to shake the knitted pom-poms and watch you guys succeed. So,
All right, and just find everything down below. Thank you all for coming, and we'll have Lindsay back again.